Welcome to this video series with Cosmos Hub. Thank you for taking out time from your Cosmos 2024 schedule. I think to begin with, it'll be great if you can give us a quick intro about you, what you're building, and what your role.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, I'm Adair, co-founder of Abstract. We believe that users care about the experience of interacting with applications, not the underlying tech. So at Abstract, we do everything to make getting onboarded into your app, interacting with it, and then bringing your assets from anywhere as easy as possible with SDKs and infrastructure.
That's great. Do you want to tell us about how you came across Cosmos ecosystem and why you chose to build in it?
Yeah, so I was actually doing some research in the Ethereum ecosystem in university with healthcare systems and smart contracts and ways that Web3 can improve the experience of sharing data between different healthcare providers. And EVM tech was subpar for the task. So I was looking into scaling solutions. So there's like the new L2s that we're launching then and these side chains. But I didn't feel that it was best because you're still confined by the constraints of the EVM itself. So shortly after, I found Polkadot, and Polkadot had some aspects that I really agreed with, but then the auction model, where there was a high barrier to entry, I completely disagreed with. With Cosmos, every chain maintains its own sovereignty. It can bootstrap its own validator set. It doesn't have to depend on like the Cosmos hub. It doesn't have to depend on other chains or the uptime of anything in the entire ecosystem. So Cosmos gave better sovereignty and still with the benefit of every application being able to scale to its own chain, which really excited me. Also, coming from a background in networking, just inter-networked blockchains it's such a fun concept to play with, and it's been a joy developing in Cosmos these past few years.
What are existing tools or features or modules in Cosmos SDK that makes you very bullish for them to like play out and really come to fruition in the coming 1 or 2 years?
So the new X accounts module is really exciting because you can have different accounts than the base account, which offers capabilities like automations and account abstraction and superpowers for these native accounts. Next, the ICA v2 removes a lot of the problems with ICA v1, such as one account per channel and the 4 transactions that you need to set up an interchain account. So that's really exciting for me because it means that we're going to have more interoperability between these blockchains without reaching any weird scaling limits or having to deal with these design decisions that were made a few years ago.
Since you're working in the chain abstraction sort of segment of sorts, what are some of the challenges that you initially saw that led you to work on this specific problem or piece of technology and in Cosmos?
Yeah, so I joined Cosmos shortly after the Stargate upgrade. That's when IBC was enabled and these different chains were able to move assets between one another. And the problems that arose is that every developer would choose an ecosystem because of the assets or because of the liquidity or because of the users. So a lot of developers were building in Terra. And Osmosis at the time was a permission smart contract chain. And later on, Juno came up. It's a generalized smart contract platform. But developers would spend a lot of time re-implementing the same code that they've already implemented in these other ecosystems because of the specific configurations that you needed for those chains themselves, or even the DeFi protocols on those chains. So we felt that developers were wasting a lot of effort re-implementing things that had already been done. And when you have IBC networked blockchains, this problem increases dramatically because you're not only building the same things for one chain, you're building the same things on multiple different chains. And if you don't have standards for building multi-chain, then you're going to end up with a lot of complexity, with a lot of technical debt, and it's going to lose your focus on your business model. And you're just gonna get drowned in technical debt. So we focused on chain abstraction so that developers could build apps more easily using the powers that are presented by Cosmos and still getting access to all of these amazing applications.
What are some of the tools, dApps, or platforms in Cosmos that you really enjoy using?
Yes, there's specifically one Celatone is an amazing blockchain explorer. When they first launched either on Osmosis or Neutron, I was really surprised as a smart contract developer how much care they took to make that experience good. And that really excited me because they also added new features as you requested them. They were very fast moving, and they were one of the more surprising tools that I ended up using a lot in Cosmos. Beyond that, I would say Cosmology's tooling has been excellent, especially for the front end. Working on TS CodeGen has been great because you can add additional features really easily, and it gives you the ability to just interact with your contracts way more easily than you do in the EVM world, which has a lot more technical complexity when developing front end for your contracts. Yeah.
Since onboarding more users and getting more projects to make use of Cosmos SDK, have more chains being onboarded into Cosmos as a priority, what do you think something can be done that can make this more frictionless, in terms of features, in terms of any incentive from the hub for more projects to adapt, say ICS, or start building on Cosmos?
Cosmos has a lot of compelling reasons to build here, though until it's as easy to spin up a new chain as it is to spin up a new Next.js project, I don't think that apps are going to migrate over. The reasons for building on Ethereum or on EVM-based chains is because all of the liquidity and all of the users are there. And so you need two things for Cosmos to succeed. One is something like Spawn or Rollkit that allows you to spin up a new chain with custom modules really, really quickly, like a new Next.js project. And the second one is being able to access those users and those liquidity on any new chain that you spin up. You shouldn't have to be limited by the constraints of your one chain that's not connected to these other ones because we have IBC. The reason for building in Cosmos is that your application can reach internet scale when it succeeds. But it's just incredibly complex to develop new applications based on the Cosmos SDK because you have to know Go or you develop in it in smart contract VM, and then you're just more compelled to build on an existing smart contract chain. And that's good, but it's only good for you to find PMF, and then you should scale to a chain. But a lot of projects don't really take this approach. They want to go straight to the chain. So again, really easy to spin up a new chain and get access to the liquidity and users from everywhere else in Cosmos.
I'm going to jump into this rapid fire segment. Atom as a token, sell or compound?
Compounded. You know how many airdrops we've gotten over the years because of holding Atom?
Yeah. Why do you think cosmonauts should consider holding Atom?
It aligns you with the Cosmos ecosystem. And the Cosmos has been right time and time and time again. And we are going to continue being right. And I feel that even though Atom is minimalist, because the hub is meant to be as maximally secure as possible, holding Atom still gives you the long-term benefits of being aligned with the rest of the Cosmos ecosystem. And with all of these new liquid staking primitives, it's going to give you a lot of advantages going forward.
Who do you think should be the CEO of Cosmos?
We need a visionary. We need someone, I think Elon Musk should be the CEO of Cosmos.
If you were to describe interchain security in one word?
Synergy.
Do you think ICS is more of a safety net or a growth accelerator in Cosmos?
ICS is both a safety net and a growth accelerator because it adds shared security to these new chains. And I think that something that could be improved about ICS is being able to have your own validator set and then borrow additional security. And so if I have a $50 million token, I want $50 million of extra security from the Cosmos Hub. That could be pretty cool.
A proposal that you remember very vividly, voting on Cosmos Hub?
69, because that was the proposal to get CosmWasm on the hub a few years ago, and wow, that has been one of the most infamous proposals on the Cosmos Hub. Yeah, and it's sparked a lot of drama.
A growth metric you think could be a clear indicator of the growth of Cosmos?
Number of interchain accounts created across multiple different chains. So people performing actions in Cosmos using Cosmos tech, even if they're on other ecosystems.
If you were to give a catchphrase for building on Cosmos, what would it be?
Modular.
Okay, that's about it.
Cool.
you.